Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 6.8% to 29,536. Ethereum down 7.61% to 1795. Let's check out the different sectors in the crypto market, starting with DeFi, then turning to financial services. We can see memes and GameFi. You can basically just stop your video player at any time. Blockchain services, we're just trying to keep an eye and a feel for the entire crypto market. Cloud storage, most people just look at their beloved alts and miss market moves. Network, we can see everything is down. What happened to your beloved alts? Let me know in the comments. We can see data services, entertainment, virtual reality, NFTs or non-fungible tokens, IoT or the Internet of Things, exchange tokens, stablecoins, blockchain infrastructure, and currency. So the question is, what happened to your beloved alts? The answer, Bitcoin happened. The entire crypto market will move in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the Masterclass, our NFT collection, the tax software I use, and that link will give you 20% off. And you can always reach out and directly message me on Twitter at any time. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. There's always hope, and the sun will come out again. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention, and investor attention is measured by price, which is reality, not future promises. The first thing we do is mark up our charts with the CTKS method, then look outside the crypto market, checking world events and collecting probabilities, just like a really good detective. We then look back into the crypto market, understanding that opportunities reset daily, enhancing our pattern recognition and finding the market's focus. Before we buy or sell, we must have a professional, non-gambling mindset. If you gamble in crypto, if you gamble in any market, you will lose. It's just a question of when. But if you acquire the knowledge and go slow to go fast, you'll do really, really well. You must make it a profession, like being a doctor, engineer, lawyer, school teacher, programmer, whatever it is. Crypto technical analysts are professionals. Then, when it comes to pulling the trigger, there are many ways to buy and many ways to sell, but getting the percentage on your favor is absolutely the first and best thing that you can do. A lot of people, when they enter the crypto market, they've been sold on a concept that you can turn a very small amount of money into a very large amount of money, and it doesn't take much. It's just easy. Just leverage up. Unfortunately, that's not the way things go. The markets reward knowledge. Rule 141, go slow to go fast. If you want to survive in any financial market, you have to get knowledge. Looking outside the crypto market, we need to understand what the market and investor sentiment is globally. And when we look at the stock market in the US, we can see 69% of companies have beaten their earnings. This is really positive. If 69% of companies had missed their earnings, we would be concerned. And when we look at smart money confidence, we can actually see smart money confidence is increasing. But of course, retail confidence is decreasing, because retail confidence simply moves with the current price action. That's all it does. When looking at the major stock market in the US, we can see the VIX, the volatility index, and this is basically known as the fear index of the S&P 500. What this actually means, if the VIX rises up, we expect prices across all major indices to fall. If it comes down, we expect prices to rise. That's why it's called the fear gauge. And what do we see here in the NASDAQ 100? We can see the NASDAQ 100 rallied up to a resistance level, got pushed down to a support level, tried to rally back up, got hit with another resistance level, and has come back to a support level. What's actually happening in the US market? It's consolidating. It's actually locking in its gains. Now, what happens next? We predict over the span of the next couple of weeks, we would expect by probability standards for the NASDAQ and all major indices to retrace to their resistance line, this line here. Is it a certainty? There's no such thing as certainty in financial markets, and certainty is penalized, so we must be aware of that. But what do we see? What happened to Bitcoin's price action? Bitcoin's price action came down. Let's have a look at bond prices. Bond prices are coming down. Bond yields are coming up. What happened to the dollar? Oh, the dollar is rallying, and we can see that gold prices have rallied and hit a level of resistance. And what about oil? Oil is slowly grinding up. And what about the put-call ratio? We can see more and more people starting to get bearish, starting to look for shorting opportunities in the market. Don't forget that the market exists to put 95% of people on the wrong side of the trade. So for example, when you look at a market like this, a lot of people are in terror. They're looking at it and saying, oh no, it's going to go to zero. And smart money looks at it and says, about time, I can buy, I can BORSOG. But we need to be really, really good detectives and understand what global markets are doing. We can see Bitcoin has had a push up and a push down. It's just coming into a support level. And we can see the NASDAQ is at the top of that once resistance, now acting as support. S&P 500 is doing better. It's above that support level. What about the Dow Jones, Australia's? The Dow Jones is above support. What about Australia's index? It's crossed resistance. This should give you a really good understanding of what happens globally. Japan has crossed resistance. The Russell 2000 is above support. Germany's market is actually doing quite well. It's above resistance. And we can see Russia's market still under resistance. The UK's market has overcome a key level of resistance. It's going for it. And look at China's market. It's overcome a key level of resistance too. It's starting to actually push upwards. This is really, really important to understand. The global markets are showing us that there is a healthy economic system. Don't worry about what the news says. Worry about what the charts say. They will tell you the truth. And what is this? When we look at the markets when they come down they come down hard, and they all come down together. If we were anticipating that the markets would go into some kind of meltdown, they wouldn't be exhibiting these kinds of patterns. And what is this guy, this red thing here? That is a recession indicator put out by the Federal Reserve. You can notice it's flatline. It's not registering a recession. But recessions come and go. They're all part and parcel of financial markets. Do not be afraid of recessions. If you handle recessions correctly, they can be among the greatest money-making opportunities. But you require knowledge, just like all things. Let's have a look at Bitcoin compared to inflation expectations. We can see the 10-year break-even inflation rate increasing, the 5-year increasing. The Fed balance sheet has had a downtick. The annual inflation rate, 8.3%. M1 and M2 money stock is remaining unchanged because we haven't got updated data. And what we've seen with the NASDAQ, it's come back to this support level. Once resistance, turning it to support. And the same thing is happening inside Bitcoin. All of this particular support is just being retested. Personally, I'm leaning into the crypto market right now. I love these red days. These red days are when you buy on red. It pushes the percentage in your favor. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We can see that there's a lot of fear inside the crypto market, but that fear is slowly coming out of the crypto market. But we were hit hard in the past trading session, and prices are coming down to test this support. Why is this happening? Why didn't price just go exponential? Why didn't it just go up? Where have all the laser eyes gone? This is absolutely part and parcel of how price moves in a wave. We have an up and a down wave. Price is always moving in a wave, and when you understand this, you'll become much less stressed out by the volatility of crypto. And crypto is the most volatile market on the planet. If you want high returns, you'd have to take high risk, and crypto is high risk, but there's a lot more to crypto than just its risk profile. When you look at crypto, crypto is the next evolution of the internet, and that's a thing that most people don't really understand. When we look at open interest, we can see open interest is continuing to increase. It had a bit of a decrease, and that's why we say there is quite an association between price and open interest. That's why we look at this. A lot of people are really confused on what cryptocurrencies actually represent. Cryptocurrencies are the protocols that run Web 3.0, or the Internet of Value, also called the Internet of Money. And crypto is just taking off. It literally has decades and decades and decades to catch up with its big brother, the Internet. Ooh, big brother. But the truth is, the Internet of Value, the Internet of Money, will actually absorb the current Internet into it. What the price of Bitcoin absolutely represents is the adoption of Web 3.0, the adoption of the Internet of Money, or the Internet of Value. If you look at it from that perspective, you're actually getting crypto. Let's have a look at what's happened here. We can see all these black swan events actually suppress Bitcoin's price. So if we were to draw a fractal across all of this and just pull it across to this particular last cycle, we can see that there was no blow off top. Why wasn't there a blow off top? Because we had black swan after black swan after black swan after black swan after black swan. We've done quite well with black swans. We've had a black swan family visit crypto. And what has crypto done? It said, okay, I'll just go sideways. We know that there's one really important line here, and that is this red line. And this chart, the KS model, and these indicators are available in the Masterclass in TM2. We can see the value of that red line is 24,366.62. We need to put that into Bitcoin's movement. Okay, there we go. We just put that very, very strong support line in at 24,366 and 62. This is really important to understand. That red line will be a natural safety net for Bitcoin if we see further downside negative price momentum. And we can see price is about 17.9% away from that line. And there's a line up here at 5. This is a very powerful line. When we get above here, when we get above 5, the party is back on. But it really doesn't matter to us because we're BORSOGing all over the place. We're buying on red and selling on green. A lot of people want to buy the bottom, but they're not in the market when the bottom actually occurs. Markets like what we see today, there are very, very few people that want to buy when the market is totally red. That's absolutely the opposite of professional investors and traders. And we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. And the other thing we know is that 95% of investors do not know how to trade, which makes them lose a lot of money. Please learn how to trade if you're investing. What we can see is the psychological warfare that goes on inside the crypto market. There's some really interesting things happening with Ethereum, some interesting things happening with ADA, but what is actually occurring? Bitcoin is coming down and it's dragging the entire crypto market down with it. Why is this? Because smart money wants to get on the right side of the percentage. They don't care about the right side of the trade, and they never have. They don't hold positions like normal people do. They're in and out all the time. Masterclass students, you will receive this live chart in TG34. So what do we see with the relative strength? Relative strength is coming back to a support line, and we've had increasing relative strength underneath these price action movements. I said when we got above a specific line, we could witness a short squeeze, and that's exactly what happened. This blue line is a very strong level of resistance, and you can see just how strong it rejected it back to its support. So what we've done is stay literally just between 1 and A, between 1 and A for so many days. It's been about 19 days since we entered this 1 and A range, and we're staying here. Why are we staying here? Because the big interests are accumulating. When we overlay the NASDAQ 100, we can see quite a close correlation. And what's happening now? The NASDAQ is just trending down, but just a little bit. What about the longs and the shorts? The longs have been increasing and just started to decrease. The shorts have been ramping up, so we would expect long liquidations here to be associated with downward price action. And there's been a lot of liquidations across the past 24 hours. $589.8 million in liquidations across 109,404 positions. And when we look at the past 24 hours, nearly 90% of total liquidations were long liquidations, 90%. How does that compare with 12 hours? About 87%. 4 hours, about 90%. The last hour, about 53.55% short. And this is what happens. The longs and the shorts are always working symbiotically. There's never a situation that only longs are liquidated or only shorts are liquidated. It never works that way. If you're going long or going short, it's just a matter of time before you get liquidated as well. You have to be really, really careful of leverage. Our community does not believe in bull markets and bear markets. We believe in BORSOG markets, because if you actually turn a specific percentage each week, you can have incredible gains. I talked about that in yesterday's episode. And if we look at buying on red and selling on green, it means you must be prepared to enter the market on days like today. I look at a market like this and I get really excited. Does that mean I buy Tron or XEN or Waves? No way. I'm keeping clear of those. I want to get the best projects at the cheapest price and try to catch long tail rejections if we're lucky enough to get them. Having a concentrated focus on the big squares is a good way to go. If you go into the micro squares here, they may disappear altogether. Looking to Bitcoin options expiring at the end of June, we can see there are a lot of calls between the $60,000 to $70,000 range, all the way up to $300,000. We can also see that there's some puts between $20,000 and $25,000. So the max pain price is actually $35,000, and this is the price where and which causes maximum pain to option holders, both calls expecting higher prices and puts expecting lower prices. Let's have a peep at DeFi, and we can see DeFi has come down 4.41% in total value locked in the last 24 hours. It's currently 107.55 billion, and we can see here that all the major DeFi protocols have been hit, and they've been hit hard. Why was this? Because there was basically stress testing, or you could call it a stable coin attack, and Terra Luna opened that door. And as a result, we had so much money leaving the DeFi space. Look at this. From up here, about $250 billion down to the current 107. That's a lot of money leaving the market. When we're looking at total value locked across all chains, we can see that Tron has been doing well. It's attracting total value locked, but it has a very small number of protocols. Just keep that in mind. And what we can see is Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain have been hit, and all the others have been hit as well. Let's have a look at the greatest percent losers over the past 24 hours. Hot around 17%, Arweave about 15.5%, Steppen GMT about 15%, 13% down for Rune, about 12.5% for Cello, Carver down 12.41%, Theta down a little over 12%, and Gala about 12%. Let's go the other way and see what is actually going up in the crypto market. We can see Tron, TRX up 2.49%, Waves up 1.2%, PAX G, which is PAX Gold, up 0.58%, and then stablecoins. When it comes to Bitcoin, where do you think Bitcoin is headed to? Is it headed to a letter or to a number? Please let me know in the comments. This is really important stuff to do. If you can get a feeling for the market and how it's moving, and it's not about being right or wrong, it's about refining your art. And our community is very loving and kind. We're completely supportive of each other. Nobody is wrong. Everybody is learning. So it doesn't matter what you put down. Let's have a deeper look at Bitcoin. What do we see here? Bitcoin came up to a strong resistance line, did its best to get above it, but failed, moved down, in accordance with what US markets were doing. And what do we see here? There's a lot of support at this A level. For example, 28,940. And we can see that we've got a little bit of an uptick here, just at the current moment. And what do we know about these sharp angles? What do they tend to do? Please let me know in the comments. What does sharp angles down or sharp angles up do? It's really important to mark your charts up with the CTKS method, and I've just given you a little bit of a sample here. What we can actually see, when price can't get above a resistance line, it can't turn it into support. It will generally be pulled down to another level of support or even lower. And this is something to bear in mind. It's a really important thing to understand how support and resistance levels play out in the market. You can see it end to end in the masterclass. Let's have a look at the top cryptos. We've already gone through Bitcoin, so we understand that it's just coming back to support levels. Now let's get our pattern recognition rocking and rolling. We can see Bitcoin's price action here in this blue line. And when looking at Ethereum, what do we see? Ethereum is just following Bitcoin's price action. What about XRP? Yep, pretty much like Ethereum, just following it. What about Solana? Yes, just following it. Had a bit of strength, came back, and is following now. What about Doge? Following. What about DOT? Having a bit more strength. What about ADA, Cardano? Look at that spike up. That's probably the Vasil hard fork. The PR and press is starting to rock and roll in ADA. Expect a lot more upside volatility and downside volatility with ADA, but very interesting. And what about Binance Coin? Look at this strength. Why is this? Because Binance Coin is an exchange token and it's used on the world's largest crypto exchange. Of course it's strong. We talk about Rule 570 all the time because it's absolutely critically important. Your psychology will set your profitability. The first thing to get your psychology right is put money in its right spot, which is way, way down the list. Money is an output, it's not an input. If you do the right things, you will get money, it will follow. But if you're just focused on money, it will become elusive. Through positive excellence and maintaining a real wealth foundation, we seek gratitude and happiness, kindness, integrity, decency. We always want to maintain our inner peace and our outer peace. Why is that? Because life is too short. You want to be focused on your uniqueness. Your uniqueness is so important to this world. If you're caught up in fighting other people, that's not your uniqueness coming out. That's an aberration. What actually happens when you are on target, when you are on purpose, you become kind. Kind requires a lot of courage and honor, strength and boundaries. To be kind doesn't mean that you let people walk all over you. Quite the contrary. You put in a firm boundary. You say, you cross this line, you know what will happen. And then with your integrity, you actually execute on that. Being kind doesn't mean you're weak. Actually, being kind in an unkind world means you're incredibly strong. But always be kind, even when you're implementing strong boundaries. And we do this because so many people have learned over so many decades, without self-mastery, wealth disappears. And wealth is really hard to come by, and you don't want to lose it because you haven't got the right foundations. You must become strong to support the wealth that you can absolutely get in this world. And this world is a friendly place. It's not antagonistic. The world is not against you. The world wants you to succeed. You might say, Ken, why are you talking about all this self-improvement stuff? I don't need this. I need to know when to buy and when to sell. Even if you knew when to buy and when to sell, your psychology will always set your profitability. One of the things that the crypto market is brilliant at is burning out the nerves of anxiety and fear. When you become a professional player in the market, what you will see is the fear that you once felt, you don't feel it anymore. When you see these big dips, you'll be looking for those. Everybody else will be running from the hills, or running for the hills, screaming as they go, and you'll be running into the burning building, say, I need to get me some of that. That's fantastic. Now, this red has only just occurred. Does this mean it's over, that everything will be fine? Not necessarily. Red days can continue on, but we don't care about that so long as we're on the right side of the percentage. This is why diamond hands, a diamond mind, and a diamond heart are all required in crypto. Let's have a look at pattern recognition across the metaverse space. What do we see? Sand moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Axie Infinity also doing the same thing. What happened to your beloved alt? What is the answer to that question? Please let me know in the comments. What about Decentraland moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity? Gala moving in alignment. Ape moving in alignment. GMT moving in alignment. Chiliz moving in alignment. Engine Coin moving in alignment. You can see why it's critically important to understand what Bitcoin is doing. Let's have a look at some community favorites. We can see NIA moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Matic doing the same. Icon doing the same. VRA doing the same. Rose doing the same. KSM, Kusama doing the same. Looking like it may have a little bit of potential in here. That could be one to watch. IOTA having more strength than Bitcoin's gravity. It's just escaping from it at the moment. That's a good sign, but it's still moving in directional correlation with Bitcoin. Be aware of this. And IOTEX, the same as IOTA, just a bit stronger. Fantastic. Let's have a look at some more community favorites. We can see Theta token just moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Look at Waves moving in alignment, but as Bitcoin came down, Waves said, I'll have none of this, I'm going up. Well done, Waves. Price moves in a Waves. Okay, SHIB moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. EGLD moving in alignment. Phantom moving in alignment. And we can see CHR is stronger. And this is great. This is kind of what we want. We want an over-exaggeration in strength. And Loopring also looks really quite strong. And Kyber Networks, KNC, is also looking strong. Having a look at some more community favorites, we can see Stellar just moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. CRV doing the same. AVAX doing the same. Arweave doing the same. Zilliqa moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Uni moving in alignment, showing a bit of strength there too, such as ZIL is showing strength and Stellar is showing strength as well. FTT or FTX token just following Bitcoin's gravity. And now we come to Tron. Look at Tron escaping Bitcoin's gravity. When did we see this before? There are two previous charts that we went through where we saw this kind of behavior. Please let me know in the comments if you managed to find them. They're little hidden gems. Many people say that they want to buy the bottom, and if they don't buy the bottom, they feel really, really bad. But I want to give you an alternate perspective. When the bottom is in, there's nobody there except for smart money. Retail runs, and they run really fast. By the time prices are coming out again, they're back into the market, buying at the wrong time. And then when price comes down, they're scooting off again. But how does the price come up if nobody's on the floor? The answer is the institutions, smart money. They know how to buy. They understand that you buy on red and you sell on green. And this is really important to understand. If you are adopting a retail mindset, you're going to get very, very excited as price goes up. Professional smart money doesn't get excited as price goes up. They get worried. And when price comes crashing down, they get excited. If you want to become professional, you almost have to inverse your emotional state. Those people running off the floor are addicted to this emotional cycle, and that's a really nasty cycle to be in. When you come to crypto or any investing format, if you're actually out there gambling, trying to double and triple your money without knowledge, you will lose your money. It's just a question of when. But if you come across to the smart money mindset, you're professional in zone 3 and zone 4, you focus on positive excellence and real wealth, you're unemotional, and you have the knowledge and hard work and dedications and patience to actually understand the market you're in. You're putting in hard-earned money. Shouldn't you work just as hard to increase your knowledge? Many retail investors and traders actually calculate how much they miss the bottom by. Professionals don't do this. Professionals are in the market right now. They are buying what other people are selling, and they're not really concerned with buying the bottom. But the concept is, if you feel like you must buy the bottom, are you buying on days like today? Please let me know in the comments. And also, how do you feel about that roller coaster of emotions? Do you think it's better to be a professional investor or trader, or just be at the whims of making money the only thing that you focus on? And how do you feel about success? Do you feel that money comes after you put the hard work in, or before? I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video, and also subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.